You're tuning into the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast, the only wrestling podcast covering WWE, AEW, and TNA. Let's get uncooked, uncorked, and uncensored.
What's up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, the Hot Commodity ANC, joined by my own personal Hot Commodity.
What's up?
That's Aunt B. And today we are covering WWE Friday Night SmackDown live in Bakersfield, California from June 6, 2025, the last stop before WWE Money in the Bank and Worlds Collide. So let's dive right into the show. Show starts out with Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker coming out. Seth says, tomorrow night I take everything. When I win Money in the Bank, I will have absolute power over this entire industry. That control includes SmackDown. We are here to deliver a message. Anyone who stands in our way will suffer the same as others who tried. Roman Reigns has never cared about you, but you know who has: Seth frickin' Rollins. I will drag all of you into the future, and there's nobody that can stop me. And that's when the bloodline comes out, which is Solo Sikoa, JC Mateo, and the WWE United States Champion Jacob Fatu. Solo said, you said no one's stopping you. We're standing here right now. You got yourself a bloodline going on here. Seth says, choose your next words very carefully. Solo says, tomorrow night I'm grabbing the contract, and it'll all be mine. Seth says, are you threatened because Braun Breaker is the future of WWE and you're not? Bronson Reed could squish you like a bug in a snap of my fingers. Your family would rather stab you in the back than defend you. Hey, Jacob. And then he says, you shouldn't talk. I have a nickname for Jacob Fatu. His nickname is Solo's Bitch. And then he says, Solo, I'm threatened by one Fatu, and it ain't you. And then Seth Rollins faces off with Jacob Fatu, and then Seth's crew leaves. So what do you think of this opening here with the bloodline sort of making a threat to Seth Rollins?
Okay, well, this is the thing that I keep saying I don't get, is I don't get the fan reaction of people kind of being against Seth, and I know that's kind of what it's supposed to be, but everybody cheers for CM Punk and they act like Seth is doing something wrong. Like, people need to remember CM Punk left and abandoned everybody, and and Roman Reigns was like this tyrant for 3 years, and everybody is booing Seth, and he's like, I'm gonna bring you into the future even if you're kicking and screaming, because he's trying to do what's best. He's just kind of like on this power trip. But and it really surprised me that people were kind of cheering when Solo was like, we're here to stop you. Like, it's fucking nobody likes Solo, and you want him bringing us into the future? I don't think so. But yeah, it would be interesting though to see like a 3-on-3 with these guys, I think. And I'm excited to see what's gonna happen tonight. I don't know if I don't really think Seth is going to win, but he really doesn't need to win. I mean, he's Seth Rollins. He'll find his way back into the main title scene. So
I hear you. I think the thing with Seth is that, like, to your point about Roman, like, Roman was bad, but it's almost going from one bad guy to another, because now Seth is like taking out all the baby faces and pretty much saying that, like, it's like one Roman to another. It's not like Seth is a good guy and doing good things leading us to the future. He's sort of, but I get your point.
Well, part of his way of doing that is going after CM Punk and Roman Reigns, who have not been good guys.
But what happens now that he's done? Like, he already took out Roman and CM Punk, so it's like, if he was already
going to become a champion,
and then he's going to become a champion, magically going to be a great guy.
Yep.
Okay, we'll see. Well, after that segment, Jimmy Uso attacks the bloodline from behind, which leads to Jimmy Uso versus JC Mateo. Uso lands a super kick and a spear, and then JC Mateo goes to hit Jey Uso, but accidentally hits Jacob Fatu off the apron to the floor, and Jimmy Uso rolls up JC Mateo to get the win here. And a lot of people are saying that JC Mateo's already getting buried here. He keeps, I mean, but I don't really think he's being buried. He won the past couple of weeks. But I'm still wondering, you said last night, you think Jimmy Uso is going to side with this bloodline or with this other group here?
Yeah, I kind of feel like he might. And I think his reasoning is going to be that, like, Jey Uso got all this attention and he's getting nothing. And, Jimmy's kind of done something like that before where he's he's kind of turned on Jay and it was, oh, it's for the better so we can be a tag team again. So I kind of feel like it might be leading that.
We'll see. Moving right along, WWE United States Women's Champion Zelina Vega confronts Giulia backstage, and it's like, the only way you're going to get this title is if you pry it from my dead body. We then go to a Bakersfield Brawl match. We've got Piper Niven with Chelsea Green and Alpha Fire taking on the United States Women's Champion Zelina Vega. And Zelina hits Piper Niven with kendo stick shots to start the match. Piper lands a crossbody to Vega across the LED apron. Zelina lands a moonsault onto Chelsea, Alba, and Piper on the floor. Zelina then lands a super code red. Piper lands a Piper driver to Zelina on the floor. And then Giulia attacks Chelsea Green and Alba Fire on the floor as well. Keep saying on the floor. And Giulia hits Piper Niven with a kendo stick on the top rope. And Zelina Vega power bombs Piper off the top through a table. Zelina Vega gets the win with some help from Giulia. However, after the match, Giulia attacks Zelina Vega and holds the United States Women's Championship above her head. So it's almost like, I want to win the belt from Zelina. I don't want anyone else.
Zelina should have saw that coming. It was very obvious she was going to attack her.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But what do you think about Giulia possibly going after the U.S. women's title instead of the World Women's or the WWE Women's?
Well, I'm wondering if, she were happen to win Money in the Bank, if she would do that. But I kind of feel like it would be a waste. Like, I feel like she could go for the women's title.
Yeah. And I really like Giulia's, we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about that later. But I would like to see Giulia and Zelina Vega. I feel like they could have a good match.
Yeah.
We then go to LA Knight versus Aleister Black. It's a decent match until Seth Rollins runs out and attacks LA Knight, which leads to a DQ victory for LA. And then Seth Rollins faces off with Aleister Black. And that was interesting because if you go back in time, Seth Rollins was the one who supposedly fucked up Aleister Black's eye, which is why Black continues to wear the contact. But Rollins now taking out LA Knight, who's going to be the Money in the Bank ladder match. What do you think?
Yeah, I think LA has a really good chance of winning this match, unfortunately. Yeah. So I think it was smart of Seth to kind of even the odds a little bit and, help his odds a little bit and try to, attack him the night before.
Mm-hmm. I agree. We then hear an announcement from Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis that the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments will be returning this year. The finals of the tournaments will take place at Night of Champions, and then the winners, so I'm assuming it's like the winners of the King and Queen of the Ring will take on their respective champions
at SummerSlam. Yep.
So I like that, I like the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments.
Yeah, and they did the same thing last year, I think, where, they got the chance at SummerSlam?
Yeah, Nia Jax and
Gunther, right.
And they both won the titles. So.
Yeah.
All right, WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton comes out next. Oh, also, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker also attacked LA Knight. It wasn't just Seth Rollins. Tiffany Stratton says every lady in the Money in the Bank ladder match is going to try to be like me. Whoever wins their world will revolve around me going forward. No one can outdo the doer. And then Rhea Ripley comes out and Rhea says, I've never been in Money in the Bank because I never had to. I know what it feels like to be champion and I miss that feeling. So Rhea makes a point that actually could be her downfall. She doesn't need to win Money in the Bank to be champion. And I think that's what's going to happen. I don't think she's going to win.
Yeah, I don't think Rhea's going to win either, but I do think she'll become champion soon. And I do kind of feel like Tiffany needs to step it up a little bit. Like, she's had good matches, but she's not great on the mic. and she's not really like, I feel like she's like not in the mix, you know. Like,
She looks hot though.
yeah, well,
We have a 6-woman tag match next. Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vacquier, and Alexa Bliss against a team of Naomi, Roxanne Perez, and Giulia. And I was gonna say I like Giulia's robe. I thought it was really cool the way like it was.
From
Alexa, stop.
not you.
Sorry. So the baby faces attack first. Stephanie lands a devil's kiss to Naomi. Rhea hits a razor's edge to Roxanne Perez for a 2. Roxanne counters Rhea Ripley's maneuver with a DDT. And then Naomi leaves Roxanne Perez to fend for herself. And Rhea hits a riptide on Roxanne. And the good gals get the win. So Naomi's saying, fuck this. Like, why am I even helping you when I'm going to be fighting you in 24 hours?
She had the right idea. And you know what else? I would really like to see Rhea and Alexa team up.
Rhea and Alexa. Okay, yeah, they would be good together.
Yeah.
They were on that apron smiling. They were happy about the moves they were doing.
They were, it was cool. There was like one part where Stephanie and Naomi were going at it, and then her two partners came in, and then Alexa and Rhea came in, and it was wild for a while. It was fun.
Yep, it was a fun match. We see Solo Sikoa talking to JC Mateo backstage, and he tells JC that Jacob Fatu loves me, and Jacob's not smart. He's all gas and no brains, and he starts to laugh. They leave, and then, of course, Jacob Fatu had overheard them, and he's staring at Solo, and that only leads us to believe that Fatu's going to fuck over Solo tonight in that Money in the Bank match.
Right, and Fatu was in the background. He was...
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
That Fatu heard him.
That's my prediction, too. I think Solo is going to come very close to winning. I think he's going to have his hand on that briefcase, and I think Jacob Fatu was going to fuck him up the ass.
We get a promo from Uncle Howdy, and he says, "We return to take what we are owed. Accept your condemnation. We will not be forgotten." And he wants to go after the tag team division. He's talking about loyalty. I just like whenever I get to see this Wyatt 6 stuff, so I wish there was a bit more to it, and then we do see backstage all the SmackDown tag teams are uniting to say, you know, we're scared of the Wyatt 6, but we need to come together and protect ourselves.
Whatever tag team they're going to form should be going after the tag team titles, but I think Bo Dallas should be in Money in the Bank, or something.
I agree. Speaking of Money in the Bank, we have Penta and Andrade, who will both be in that match, taking on American Made with Chad Gable. Penta and Andrade dive on both American Made members. Chad Gable gets on the apron, but the AAA champion El Hijo del Vikingo gets on the apron and attacks Chad Gable. Penta hits a Mexican destroyer, Julius Creed, and Penta and Andrade get the win. That was a match to kind of get prepared for Worlds Collide because Chad Gable will take on Vikingo for the championship. After Seth Rollins and his crew...
And he's in Money in the Bank.
Who?
Isn't
well, El Grande Americano is in one.
El Grande Americano.
You keep fucking this up.
Yeah, I was... That's why I was asking, because I knew I was mixing up one of them.
So Seth Rollins and the crew come out again, and they attack both Penta and Andrade. Seth stomps both men, and Bronson Reed hits a tsunami on Penta. So it looks like this is the routine. Seth and his crew are taking out all the members of the Money in the Bank ladder match, which is smart, but I can definitely see the men, uniting and going after Seth because he fucked up everybody. It's like that was kind of dumb too.
I also think that either CM Punk or Roman Reigns are going to show up tonight.
Okay.
And in the men's Money in the Bank. And I think...
But there's definitely going to be a moment where they're all going to look at each other and go after Seth because it's like... He attacked everybody. It's not like he saved... he went after everyone.
But it is also...
Except for El Grande.
Also, in Money in the Bank, he could potentially have his faction come down and help him, and there's nothing anybody can do because it's no rules.
After that, Paul Heyman gets on the mic and he says, like it or not, we are the future. Seth Rollins is the vanguard of WWE. Tomorrow, Seth frickin' Rollins becomes Mr. Money in the Bank once again. And then Cody Rhodes and the world champion Jey Uso come out. Seth Rollins' crews leave. And then Cody says, John Cena called me desperate. Seeing you stand next to Logan Paul is like seeing Michael Hayes standing next to the Hardy Boys. You didn't get this reference, but we did watch in the Attitude Years you go in the archive.
Yeah, he was
they
like
teamed
trying
together.
to.
Yeah, like he was dressing up like the Hardy Boys and like he was just making fun of John Cena
because it was pitiful.
After he makes that comment, WWE champion John Cena comes out. And he starts to talk, and then Logan Paul knocks out Jey Uso with brass knuckles, and then Cena hits Cody Rhodes with a WWE title belt. John Cena FUs Jey Uso. Logan hits a pulverizer to Cody, and then a frog splash to both Cody and Jey Uso here. John Cena says, no one is coming to save you. I've been telling you this for half of a year. Your dream of what the WWE is will be ruined. I take this home. Logan Paul takes that title to the top. The last real champion and the one of one, the future face of WWE, Logan Paul. Cena FUs Cody Rhodes. Paul punches Jey Uso. Fans then chant, we want truth. Cena says, you can't handle the truth. There's nothing anyone can do about it, you hypocrites. You're pathetic liars. Remember this saying, winners write the history. So John Cena and Logan Paul have the advantage going into Money in the Bank. They mentioned R-Truth here. What are your thoughts?
I thought it was smart the way he what do you call it? Like when you do something like on the fly, like an acting. Improv, yeah. It was smart the way he handled it, and it was I thought that was kind of cool. But the way John Cena said no one's coming to save you, I feel like someone might be coming to save us tonight in this match.
Who was that?
I don't know.
Well, we will see. I feel like this last segment got me excited for their tag match. And although this wasn't a great SmackDown, a lot of stuff did happen. And I'm definitely looking forward to Money in the Bank, which will be happening tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Also at 3 p.m. on YouTube Eastern Time. AAA and WWE Worlds Collide will be taking place on YouTube. So we'll be watching both of those and giving a recap of those. Although I'm not really looking forward too much to Worlds Collide because I don't really know much of the wrestlers, but it should be good action. Money in the Bank will be great. 4 matches on the card.
It'll also be interesting for like every match to be WWE people versus AAA.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's really never been anything like this except for the little bit of TNA interaction.
Mm-hmm. And like back in the day, like WCW would do stuff like this, but in terms of WWE, you're right, they don't really do partnerships. But with all that being said, make sure you subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell on YouTube to stay notified.
Tell your mom.
Tell your mom. We want to get 1,000 subscribers. Right now, we're currently at 821. So make sure you subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what are your thoughts, what are your predictions for Money in the Bank. If you also want to hear different content, we have our Attitude Years season 3 that we're still recording as we are talking about.
Come into our time machine.
Yeah, jump into our time machine. Check that out. We also have After the Bell, which is a weekly show on Monday where we recap the past week in WWE. We'll definitely be talking about Money in the Bank. We'll be talking about the debut of Mariah May in NXT. And a lot of stuff that I'm sure Worlds Collide will talk about too. So make sure you tune in to that as well. You could hear us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, stay safe and stay uncensored.